Yes, my peoples, it's T, and I'm back for Apprentice episode 2 reaction. Let's get it. Come on. All right. So, listen. Firstly, what I want to say straight away, this may be a slightly longer video, and the reason for that is this is the first time in a very long time that I actually kind of enjoyed an episode of The Apprentice. It was an enjoyable episode. So this might be a slightly longer reaction. So we have a few clips to play, and I have a few thoughts that I want to lay. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So this week started at the Royal Exchange in London, and the task was to create and manufacture mini cheesecakes, because these are apparently now popular in the luxury brand area. So the boys started off with big fighting talk straight away. So, you know, let's get into a couple of clips. Let's get into a couple of clips first and foremost. So
Be the girls this time, because I'm not sitting in that board.
No, guys, honestly, we need to turn the tables now.
We may have lost the battle, but the war's just begun. Yeah.
listen, fighting talk there from the boys. Last week they got destroyed. Well, to be fair, both teams were poor last week. Last week they was poor, but this week they lost the battle. They lost that battle. But this week they want to actually, you know, begin the war and actually take it back. Will they be successful? Time will tell. Now, I want to watch another clip. Before I get a little bit more into what's cracking here.
Choose a leader.
Choosing the leaders.
Anybody who would like to put themselves forward for project manager?
I'm happy to manage the kitchen side of things.
Look at this. Look at this. Nobody wanted to be PM in the girls. Literally tumbleweed rolling. But in the end, they did decide, well, Faluso did, is that her name? But Faluso did decide, or did pipe up and be like, you know what, since no one else wants to do it, I'll do it. So she became the PM for the women's team. So yeah, definitely interesting. And then there was a discussion around, you know, who should be the sub team leader, etc., etc. But we'll get to that in a minute. In relation to the men's, Phil was the one that became the PM. Phil, obviously, last week, as I mentioned, I wasn't really a big fan of Phil because he was really poor last week in the kitchen. But this week, he's now the PM on another food task, and he's a pie maker, so he should be good. So we'll get to it and see how that actually ended up being in the end. So get to another clip here.
Two of them, yeah. And my initial feeling is we should go for Greenwich.
You know, for Greenwich, it's one of the furthest locations from the kitchen.
I know, with the amount of people that go there, it would be so much work.
Yeah, I put that down too. I was like, Greenwich is definitely like the top.
I mean, the time difference is half an hour from other locations.
Yeah, it's not
I think we can make that back up.
Yeah, we'll make it up with the amount.
Yeah.
10 times.
Is anyone happy with
Greenwich Market.
So interestingly here, very interestingly is there was a good point raised there by, I forgot her name. I'm gonna call her the Scouse lady. She made a good point around the distance of the location of sales from the kitchen. Will that come back to bite them in at a later date? Who knows? And now the men, you know what's interesting? The men actually, this clip may touch on it, but the men's, they kind of was a little bit all over the place in the decision making. Somewhat, it wasn't really a democracy. It was just Phil be like, "Yep, let's do this." But let's play this clip and really see.
I want to get across before we split up his price.
Nail the numbers.
So this was a numbers challenge here, a numbers challenge. As always, when you're you know, when you're doing any tasking business, you're trying to sell as much as possible here. So let's watch the rest of this clip.
Cost to the corporate client would be bottom end £4, top end £8.
So just let's go back a little bit. The men's did choose chocolate as their choice of cheesecake. Now for me, that's very strange because honestly, I love a cheesecake. And for me, cheesecakes are normally kind of fruit-based or nothing. So, interesting choice there. The girls did choose, I think they made a good choice. They chose fruit as their base. So, very, very good choices there. But then the men's, they decided to, or Phil just jumped straight in and decided to literally go straight into £4 as a bottom end and £8 as a top end. Very interesting choices there. He's in the pie business, so he should have a slight insight into what people will be likely willing to pay. But yeah, a little bit interesting choice there. But let's see what the girls have said as well in relation to their pricing structure.
Then, in terms of the numbers for the corporate team, let's try and hit the £10 mark. I know that's quite high, but let's try and hit that. Okay. Gauge it if it could go a little bit higher. Yeah. Just have a read of the room.
Now, I actually really enjoyed the fact that Faluso, the way how she ran her team, she was able to very calmly get instructions, get ideas, and give instructions out to her team. And the price that they decided on, you know, based like £10, if you can get higher, read the room. That's great leadership there. And already basically twice what the men's have said almost. So great start there from the girls this week. So the woman, they did select Rachel as the sub team leader. And they did keep in mind they want an 80% markup on their price. Again, great instructions. They thought about all this stuff. The men's not once mentioned anything along these lines about markup price, cost of manufacturing, and then cost and then the markup between. So the margin between. Sorry. So very, very interesting take. Maybe that's part of the maybe it was discussed, but it just wasn't in the edit. I don't know. But the men's look really, really poor. But the way how they just the women just calmly thought about these things, definitely put the men to shame, I believe. So. With those in mind, I think it will come largely down to taste and how they negotiate with the corporate client. So let's watch another clip here and give my thoughts.
Pitching to corporate clients.
Yeah, previous job used to pitching to all sorts of clients in the corporate world, so I'm more than comfortable to do that again.
Is there any point you want me to step in, or do you want me to just you tell?
The only thing not to come in on is when we're negotiating.
Okay.
Now that right there, absolutely brilliant. The way how it's just very clear, very crystal set of instructions. The girls just calmly spoke to each other and decided. They asked who's the best at negotiating, who's been done pitches before in the past. They decided on Flo, and they asked her, what do you want from us? Flo said, listen, support me where we need to, but when it comes to negotiations in front of the client, stay stum, stay quiet, let me do my job. And I love that clear instructions. Now the question is, will they follow those instructions, or will they do what I've seen in the past where people say stay quiet and you get in a room and everybody tries to chip in and help and support and just mess it up. So let's see what happens, but let's watch another clip and see what I want to react to next.
You won't need as much. Yeah, that's incredible. I like it. And I hate mango, and it tastes really good.
Oh my god, that's actually really nice.
So they went for the mango. They went for mango and some other ingredients, which is, yeah, which you don't need to get into right now. But essentially, I think that's an interesting choice because for me, strawberry cheesecake apparently is boring. But for me, it's my favorite cheesecake. I love strawberry cheesecake. But they went with a mango mojito cheesecake, which is a definitely interesting, spin on things with mango and a bit of lime and a little bit of mint on top, which is interesting. Sounds like more like a mocktail, to be fair. But honestly, it does sound delicious, and they did say it tasted delicious. However, if I did have a mango cheesecake once at a Caribbean restaurant, and it wasn't nice at all. It was very overpowering and a little bit too sickly, but maybe that was just that particular one. The boys, they went with white chocolate and cranberries on top and popping candy. Phil was very command and control, but will that come back to bite him?
Give it a little bit of I don't know about that. That popping candy could work.
Let's try it.
Listen,
You know I love where that pops in your mouth.
I don't know his name. I forgot his name. But why is his lips so dry? Lick your lips, man. Make me lick my lips now as well. Anyway, yeah, I think overall, you can already see that the women have their stuff a little bit more in order, and the men's are a little bit shaky. But let's watch another clip here because this is a very pivotal and vital clip in the series.
Go with the indulge
rather than being innocent.
Let's just not pigeonhole ourselves. Let's say we are a sweet specialist cheesecake company. We don't have to say we're chocolate specialists or anything like that. Then we can fact find from the client, and then we can make it bespoke for them.
Yeah, right, let's go and get a deal. Come on, let's go.
So what Jack said there was very, very important. Very important. Very important. So I'm actually glad he said that, because Paul, the brand, the client was innocent. Everybody knows innocent. I love innocent drinks, if I'm being honest. All about fruits and, you know, and healthy, conscious products. But they have a chocolate cheesecake, and this Paul guy was gonna just railroad chocolate, and essentially Jack had to step in and be like, no, let's say we can do it all and bespoke it depending on what they asked for. Did they listen to that? Did they listen to that? Time will tell. But let's look at flows. Let's look at flow.
That would be fantastic. It's a bit of a stretch still. Okay, well look, it's obviously challenging for us. You know, obviously I've got to pay my staff, but we were making them fresh in the morning. $6.90 is honestly the lowest we can go.
Amina.
That is about 30.
But we're expecting something amazing.
Don't you worry.
Yo, look at the negotiation skills. Look at the negotiation skills. Now let's watch the boys straight away. Watch the boys straight away.
We like to indulge, you know, we specialise in chocolate cheesecakes. That's kind of our main thing.
How can you go against the client? That's crazy.
I get that, but obviously coming from our side, it's all good and well having you 1 or 5 a day, but life is all about balances.
This is crazy. Embarrassing.
Will just give you that little bit.
Even, yeah, Karen, embarrassing. And still trying to push the point. Is he actually dumb? Is he actually dumb? Wow.
So can I just jump in there and say that if it wants some element of fruits in there, then we can definitely see what we can do around that. So
Thank you, Jack. Crazy. Why didn't they go in and listen to Jack's initial approach in the first place?
It's £5.50 for the 70 cheese.
I'll tell you what, how about for £6.50?
Painful.
Which is kind of in the...
You know what? I can't watch anymore of that. All I'm gonna say is that was very, very painful. Very painful. Now, I don't understand. Like, the men's pitch was absolutely stupid. Like, come on. Why did this guy not listen to Jack beforehand in the first place? Jack said, let's go in there and be open. Let's not just push chocolate. And then he goes in there and he pushes chocolate about 3 or 4 times, knowing the brand does not do chocolate or anything unhealthy. They're a healthy, conscious brand. Crazy. I don't understand. And then Paul, if that's his name, like, is he actually dumb? Like, trust me, he won't last long. Rookie mistake. You can't try and tell the client what they want. Crazy. So yeah. And then on top of that, he goes in there with a low price. Instantly goes from £9, jumps straight down to £6. Yeah, the girls should win this very easily. Unless the girls do something really absolutely amazingly wrong, the girls should easily win this, because this is absolutely shocking. And if I'm being honest, Feluso was doing very well at controlling these girls, because they were trying to talk all at once at one point. I'm not sure about her stance on looking good but not tasting good, though. That was something that was a bit of a miss there by Feluso. But let's look at this clip, because this clip cracked me up. Hey, listen. Can someone tell me? Look at her face. Can someone tell me? Yeah, can someone please tell me what is truffle? I have no idea. And why did it taste so bad? Why did it actually taste so bad? Like, what is truffle? That's crazy. But anyway, let's go back to another clip.
I highly recommend that you use dried dragon fruit.
Dragon fruit, really?
Possibly avocado.
Avocado in a cheesecake. Is avocado? Yo. Phil.
Guys, smash the avocado.
Feels annoying.
Yes, on a white cheesecake.
I'm not even gonna watch any more of that either. That's unacceptable. That's the diabolical. Like, really? Like, avocado, dragon fruit, and apricot. That sounds absolutely foul. Absolutely foul. And the markup didn't sound too bad, to be fair, though. There was, I think they said cost them £2 to make, and I think they got a price of £6.50, something along the lines. So it wasn't too bad, but yeah, let's see. And this clip about the teeth being dyed black. Let's watch this a little bit. And
that's for 30 seconds.
Corporate team,
yeah.
You guys listen to me for 1 second. The pencils have too much dye on them, right? I know this is a stretch. But is there a way we can play off the dive, being part of the dungeon weird experience, if their teeth go like black a little bit or anything like that?
No, but I think that it's a corporate event. We can't have people's teeth dye.
Now, honestly, I thought this was actually a decent idea. I thought that was a decent idea. Honestly, like the dungeon, like it's the London dungeon. If anybody knows anything about the London dungeon, obviously it's an experience where you go underground in the history of London, and one of the part of the history of the dungeon is the plague, and part of the plague is your tongue goes black and all this stuff. So that would have been pretty cool, but obviously it's a corporate event, so you don't want to, you know, have a corporate fun day event and then you go to the office with a black tongue. I get it, but I thought that was very innovative from Faluso or Falusa. I think I'm saying that wrong, but yeah, in general, I'm not sure if Paul was this being badly edited this episode or something, but he looks so incompetent and clueless every single step of the way. Just watching
avocado and something different. I'm sure you've probably never heard of that before.
Yeah, I must say the avocado in the middle, which is just an odd.
The thing
Exactly.
with avocado is it's I think, you know, it's an acquired taste.
Why would you say that to a client? An acquired taste. That's not a good thing.
It's quite dry. It's quite crumbly.
You can't sell it to all you.
It looks like something a primary school class.
Literally, she wasn't lying. It looked absolutely awful, awful. I just genuinely cannot believe how poor these boys were this week. Shocking. But the good thing about the boys, at least they eventually did adjust their initial idea of chocolate to please the client, because the cheesecakes were still ridiculous. I think Paul and Asif, in my opinion, are not real business people. Surely there have to be actors or plants in this. They can't be real, but it's shocking. I could do a better job. Crazy. One thing I will say though, Faluso, I think, or Falusa, sorry, if you're watching, I know you're not, but if you're watching, apologies, or any Falusos or Falusas, sorry, but literally she seemed very calm throughout the whole process, and which is something you need as a good skill to have as a leader. Very important. But yeah, dude. Yeah. Anyway, let's watch another clip.
Well, Alan, they spent £422.15.
In fact, I'm actually watching this clip a bit too soon. So one thing I want to say is the boys were chaotic throughout the whole process. I knew the avocado would be a problem. I knew that the client would have not actually been happy with that. The girls one looked really bad to me in terms of the cheesecakes, but they still got a much better price than the boys. Obviously, they settled on £11 each in the end. And I guess during the selling and the sales, Raj done really well on the street, asking very cheekily, but asking for a small tip is very smart with every sale. Like every little helps, and that probably helped push them over into higher sales. The boys though, are very backwards. How can you up your price, you know, towards the end of the day? If anything, it should be start higher and then come down a bit lower, backwards. So really, for me, the girls should really easily win this, because London is a place where people are willing to spend stupid money on stuff, but they didn't take the opportunity. And to be fair, anybody out there, please tell me in the comments, London is crazy. Like, who the hell is paying £7 for the tiniest ghetto-looking cheesecake? I don't understand. For that price, you can go Tesco and get a full-size cheesecake. I don't understand. Crazy. But anyway, also, there was one standout for me in this episode, and that was Flo. Flo was an absolute beast in the negotiations. She took no prisoners, and every time she had to negotiate, she had the client on the ropes. Like, smashed it each time. Yeah, smashed it, absolutely smashed it. So yeah, there was a few people that were missing, but I'll get into that later. Let's watch the rest of this clip.
And what were their sales?
Well, total sales across corporate, market and trade were £908, which gives them a profit of £485.85.
Profitable.
At least they made profit, the boys. Wow.
Question.
Well done.
How much did the girls spend on ingredients? Well, the girls, they spent less. They spent £408.
Less on ingredients. They spent less on ingredients.
Now, what about their sales?
And they sold more. I know that for sure.
Sold a lot more.
Come on. It was clear.
£1,143, giving them a total profit of £730.
Whitewash.
And 58.
Whitewash.
Well done, ladies. Well done. That's 248.
Absolute whitewash. Absolute whitewash. Easy for that. Honestly, whitewash. The girls spent less, sold more as expected. The second week in a row now where the boys are failing, but this time usually it's both teams are really bad and it's just one team is worse than the other. But this week the girls were actually good and the boys were just shocking. So first time in a while, but yeah, just unbelievable. But let's watch another clip here because this surprised me. This is so random, but this really surprised me.
I'm gassed. I knew we'd beat the boys because girls are just better.
Did Florida say she's gassed? Did Florida say she's gassed? Like, that was the poshest gassed I've ever seen him in my life. Oh, I'm gassed. What's going on? Anyway, honestly, I'm gonna go on to the boys now. So I know that, again, this is becoming a long video, but this was actually a very good episode for the first time in a while. And I have quite a few notes to get through. So I wasn't impressed with Phil last week as a sub PM, and this week as PM, he wasn't great either. Paul was awful. Personally, it should definitely be one of them going home. There was poor. Well, let's watch a couple of clips here because this is quite relevant to what I'm about to discuss.
You know, all that 5 a day stuff, you know, it's all very nice and all, but sometimes you've got to treat yourself to a little bit. I mean, what was you thinking?
It was a mistake, Lord Sugar.
Lord Sugar, can I just interject? I think that's correct, and if it wasn't for my input into selling them the fruit dream, then I don't think they would have even ordered 75. The company was
sorry,
low.
what?
I don't think you sold to the corporate, just in my
No,
opinion. I think it was me that interjected and started selling to them about how we could do bespoke fruit options for them.
Exactly.
I've got to say as well, I don't feel like there was a very good reading of the room.
Exactly. Like, come on. Somebody please tell me. Somebody please tell me. Like, I'm very confused. Like, in this boardroom, why did Asif straight out lie? Like, we just saw it a minute ago. Why did he straight out lie and said that he was the one that interjected and told the client that we can do fruit? I don't understand. Like, when it comes to, it's unbelievable. It was definitely Jack. Like, honestly, I said it last week and I'll say it again this week. I really do not like Asif at all. He is the biggest blagger, always trying to save his ass, and he needs to go. This week needs to be a double firing. It just rubbed him the wrong way. Dislike him with a passion. But anyway, let's move on. Crazy. Let's watch this clip.
Help when you told him it was an acquired taste.
Exactly.
Put him off because he said,
What did you say? You told him it's an acquired taste.
Dumb.
As best as I could. It was a losing battle.
Did you
Dumb.
say it's an acquired taste? I did. So are you, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, you 8 people here.
Dumb.
On the third.
So, very dumb. So basically, Phil ended up bringing back Asif and Paul back into the boardroom. Phil, I think, was poor, but he brought the right people back. Definitely brought the right people back. Asif is an absolute joke. Paul was poor. Phil was poor. They're both pie makers. They should do better. But let's see who actually got fired in the end.
I said I don't want to hear him.
Look at him, still chatting, piping up,
Paul,
trying to save himself.
Too much joking. Too much admitting mistakes, like a bull in a china shop, really.
Mess, absolute mess.
Phil, you run a big business that makes pies.
Exactly.
You're leaving me nowhere to go.
You couldn't write this.
Nowhere to go. I've
Maybe
got to tell you that I'm struggling here.
Shouldn't be hard.
I have to make a
Fire them all. Honestly, they could have all went. They could have all went this week. Bring in some new blood. Crazy.
I admire you for admitting your mistakes, but there were simply too many mistakes, and so it is with regret, Paul. You're fired.
See ya.
Thank you very much.
You hear that? Do you hear that? Man said.
Fair enough, mate. Thank you very much.
Man said, fair enough, mate. Thank you very much. Fair enough, mate. Thank you very much. Mate, you know, man's calling Sir Alan Sugar his mate. Is he dizzy? Look, Alan Sugar weren't impressed with that. Yeah, honestly, Paul, yep, deserves it. But to be fair, it could have been anyone else. It could have been any one of those three. All of them are poor. But as you saw there, Asif next week, he's gonna be a PM in the task for the men. So I'm very intrigued to see how he does. This may save him. This may change my opinion of him. But right now, I don't believe he's gonna be very good. Even when he went back to the house, even a few people said this is gonna be a laugh. This is gonna be a joke. So even people in the house don't take him serious. So something must be going on in the background there. But let's watch this final clip. Oh, that was the final clip. So essentially, yeah, as you saw, Paul got fired. Yeah, it should have been a double firing at least. It was the right choice. But next week, they are creating a virtual escape room. Now, this task for the first time again actually sounds interesting. Very interesting. So, yeah, I look forward to seeing that one. This was one of the better episodes in a while this week, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do next week. So, apologies for this long video, but if you got to the end, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and all of that jazz. Take care. All the best, and I'll see you soon. Peace.